Hello, I made this video to Sister Sunshine, and I apologize for not getting back with you sooner. I would also like to thank you for the civil response you gave to my video. The video you commented on was, of course, as you saw, my first one, and it was a pretty weak argument, to be honest. I discovered in that video that ad-lib in front of the camera was not my forte, and since I write great papers, but reading takes time and energy, I get what I want written and then read them. I've actually almost considered deleting the vid on secularism because its argument was so weak, but I decided to use it as a response to Reb Shlomo, just to get my 2 cents worth in on the subject. As you are probably aware, uninformed people claim that the First Amendment says separation of church and state. It actually says that Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. Separation of church and state was in a letter Jefferson wrote describing the only way he knew of to put this part of the Constitution into practice. To show this point, there was a nativity scene at a courthouse in a state. Atheists in that state could not get it removed. It was endorsed and paid for by their tax dollars, giving the image that it was respecting the establishment of Christianity. So they came up with a tactic to point out why Jefferson believed that separation of church and state was the only logical method. Atheists asked to put up a modest sign next to it stating atheist opinions and supporting arguments, and due to the Constitution they were allowed to. The word of this caught on, and other religions began posting things on the lawn. The numbers of differing views and beliefs in the world are staggering, and pretty soon the lawn was cluttered with differing religious paraphernalia. Judaism, Islam, Buddhism, even Scientology posted something. At a certain point, with groups and religions wanting to have their voice heard, the government decided to remove everything. This is the reason why separation of church and state is so important. A school had a backpack mailing system to send home mail with their kids, and a Christian group started using it to send religious tracts and other info home with the kids. The Christians suddenly got mad, however, when some Wiccans began sending home information too. It was okay for Christians to do it, but when someone else did it, they got angry. The way the Constitution is set up, the government either has to let no one do something, or they have to let everyone do something. That's what freedom's all about. Religiously, you can do whatever you want in the private sector, but not in government establishments. That was a military government memorial and therefore paid for by tax dollars. The government either had to allow every religion or branch of religion post something, or let no one post anything. A person is allowed to post things on private-owned areas. I don't know how many bumper stickers, church signs, and billboards I see every day with religious statements on them, and I usually find them offensive. But I would not dream of taking away your rights to say them. Freedom of speech means being offended, and often by people who disagree with you. And I am very glad that we have this right. It's a struggle of ideas. This is why there are religious private schools, but no religious public schools. James Madison was a huge proponent of this cause, and met with a lot of Baptists and Quakers at his time, and believed that government being religion neutral was the best way for religion to spread, or one belief would get a monopoly and the others would have an unfair disadvantage even if they were better. However, since then the government has expanded and spent money on things that used to be done by private citizens who could put up any religious symbol they wanted. Christians were the majority of the people doing these things because they were the majority at the time. So, the government steps in to do more. Christians see what appears to be a vendetta against them as their freedom wanes. I am a libertarian, which may turn off a few of my subscribers, and I think that is probably the key to your problem of secularization of everything. It is not an atheist agenda. In fact, there is no agenda at all. It is really just an expanding government that by design has to remain neutral. It is easy to see conspiracy in incompetence. Since atheism is the neutral position, you feel like we're getting special treatment. Expanding governments make it seem like everyone is getting a slice of the pie that you aren't, and pits us against each other. Unfortunately, both parties realize this, and use social arguments which are easy to manipulate personal emotions. And how much the government does or spends is never questioned. Conservative and liberal used to only describe fiscal philosophies, and not moral and social issues which the government should have nothing to do with. Liberals are known for taxing and spending, but Republicans borrow and spend, which is a tax on the future. Bush claimed to be for small government, but he racked up a huge debt on the war and doubled the Department of Education, so he really was not for small government. If you support the rights of both of us, make sure that the person you are voting for is actually reducing the size of government, or you will continue to have more things that have to become religion neutral because they are now paid for by the government and our tax dollars. On a final note, I was questioning myself whether I wanted to discuss my political views, as it may taint my message to others. I actually helped out with a Ron Paul campaign in 2007 and 2008. I know I have a few foreign and many liberal subscribers, and his political philosophy is difficult to grasp for some people. I hope knowing this does not taint what I'm trying to say. Thank you for listening. I may try and get back with you on the other issues you addressed in the vid. It depends on, well, probably what your response to the vid is. Thank you, and have a good day.